confession. I'm an oxytocin junkie, and hopefully after the next 5 minutes, you will be too. And remember, I said it's oxytocin, not Oxycontin. Do I look like Rush Limbaugh? Now, we're all gonna have a little bit of oxytocin now, so when the next slide comes up, we're all gonna, aww. Did you feel the warm fuzzies? If you did, enjoy that oxytocin, and if you didn't, you're a cold-hearted monster. Now, during labor, oxytocin is released, and it causes the uterus to contract and shrink, thus aiding in birth. And oxytocin is also released during breastfeeding. You can also stimulate the nipples to increase that oxytocin flow, to increase the milk flow. We'll get into that a little bit later. Somebody's already giggling. Now, oxytocin also has an amnesic effect, especially during really painful or stressful moments. This suppresses painful memory, which is really, really advantageous during childbirth. And oxytocin is also critical for social recognition. For certain strains of mice that have had their oxytocin receptor sites bred out, they're called oxytocin knockout mice, they have no social recognition at all. It is as if after the next 5 minutes, you don't recognize me. I know, well, who the heck are you? Now, for those of you who've had one too many drinks or been just playing on your iPhone or your Blackberries, you won't recognize me for a different reason. Now, there's many calming effects of oxytocin, and lots of studies have found that warm physical contact actually increases levels of oxytocin. Just giving somebody a hug can increase their oxytocin level and decrease their stress levels. In one study done in Africa, they've also shown that contact with different species, including dogs, especially in animal-assisted therapy, they've shown that oxytocin is actually increasing in the human and the dog. So that's support that animal-assisted therapy increases oxytocin level and actually helps healing times. Now, in an economics game on trust, researchers found that players with the higher levels of oxytocin actually trusted each other more and reciprocated more. Now, money-grubbing companies jumped on this and they immediately tried to manufacture products. One of those is called liquid trust. And if you've seen their website, it's all phooey. They claim that you can spray it on yourself and people smell it like a pheromone and they'll start to trust you, fall in love with you, buy your product. But none of that is true. You cannot pick up oxytocin through your olfactory system or your Jacobson's organ. The second product was oxytocin pills. Those, again, won't make it to your bloodstream. But let's talk about a couple of ways that you can actually release oxytocin naturally. Now, relationships are a great source of oxytocin release. And we're going to go through a variety of ways how you can release oxytocin in different relationships, such as romantic relationships, business relationships, and relationships with your children. Now, the easiest way that you can release oxytocin is through a hug. Hugs are free, they're environmentally friendly, they're legal most of the time, just watch the age there. They're calorie-free, and you also get a dopamine bonus. One way to encourage oxytocin release in couples and romantic relationships is through mutual self-disclosure. You can tell your partner something deep and dark about you. They'll tell you something else. They'll trust you. Okay, not that dark. Not too dark, okay? And typically you'll release oxytocin, or you can just think about a bonding moment. Just thinking about it can increase oxytocin levels. And if that doesn't work, you can go the old-fashioned route. Try a little bit of nipple stimulation or orgasm. Trust me, it'll work. I'm not going to go to the orgasm part. That's going to take longer than 5 minutes. I'll save that for another day. So bonding and oxytocin don't just happen with physical contact in real relationships. They can also happen just through social support. So in one study I did, I found that women, when given social support by their partners just talking, they actually increase levels of oxytocin and it decreases their cortisol level. So groups online, support groups, Twitter, Facebook, all those ways can actually increase oxytocin. That's just social support online. And I'm frequently asking for it online, so show me the love. It shouldn't surprise you that I'm a big proponent in nurturing in business relationships. And you know the saying, a lot of times it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And you pray that they really, really like you. Next, we're going to talk about my dog, how he uses oxytocin to generate a lot of cash flow. Now, this is my dog, and his name is Mouse. And in doing this, he's raised up to $175 in 2 hours just laying on the floor looking pathetic. And there's only one job I can think of laying on the floor where I get $175 in 2 hours. Now, whenever Mouse gives children cart rides, I don't just have him walk around, look cute, make people fall in love with him, but I also put the kids back there with the donation jar. And as we're riding around, people start whipping out the cash, they whip out their cameras. And as we end the ride, I whip out my Polaroid and I snap a picture and immediately hand it to the parent. And if you're familiar with exchange theory, the parent always asks, how much are the rides? And I say, nothing, they're free, we do it out of love. And cha-ching, that's when they whip out with the wallet. Thank you very much. Hope you have a great night and hope you get some.